And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Code for Giants Cup number 14, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. I'm of course VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to, I guess, technically our second broadcast of the night or of the day. We were live earlier last night with Elima League week number 229. It was a very intense event. It was amazing. It was beautiful to be back with the return of Elima League, and now we are here a couple of hours later with our next broadcast. And here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Eximius Gaming. It is Vitorino. Here we go, and if you're in the chat, predictions now open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chats as we settle into our ZBT. Again, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We will delve into the bracket after this series. There's a lot to get into, there's a lot to go over. I will already say that we have the return of Eric. It's great to see him once again. We have some big names. We have Eric, we have Inexorable, we have Master, we have Allison as well, and many others. We'll get into it. We will get into it. For those that may be tuning in for the first time, this is a bi-weekly tournament. This is, of course, organized and hosted by Cosmos. A big shout out to Cosmos. He's a massive Brazilian streamer, Brazilian caster, and he has been organizing this event for almost the entire year at this point, and we have been able to join in as the English broadcasters. Here we go. We are here. We are back. And wish me luck, because it's been an intense day. I did just tweet, and I did mention in the chat earlier that alas, I was unable to get much sleep after Elima League. I made the mistake during the broadcast of Elima League to actually have some coffee, and I guess that did just keep me up all night, and I could not sleep. Despite my best efforts, could not sleep, could not get any rest. But you know, that just means that we have that much more energy for this cast. That just means I'm just gonna crash and pass the hell out after this cast. It's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna sleep all day. At least until the next cast. Oh no, not like this, not like this. Another bit of a PSA as well as we're getting into this, and so far it has been, you know, a Rax Expand standard opener here out of Inexorable. Likewise, Vitorino going for a hatch gas pool as well, nothing too crazy. Outside of taking extra gas, guys, one drone goes down already. Oh my god, one worker goes down. Where are the links? Where are the links? Vitorino, he was a little bit too greedy. Two drones go down alongside forcing and canceling a spine crawler, sorry, a gas geyser as well. Vitorino, he was cutting corners by skipping links, and he gets punished for it. Ay. Alas, it wasn't quite worth it in the end. But what I was going to get into a bit of a PSA is we did find out originally we were going to be streaming Elima League over on the Chijik platform. Of course, the Korean platform was a third drone goes down, and we were going to be releasing the VODs on YouTube. But we did just find out that to export the VODs from Chijik, you have to be a partner of the platform, and we do not have that status. We actually cannot get that status, period, because I was looking into it, I was trying to work on it, and apparently you do need to have, or you do need to be with a Korean bank to be able to be a partner on Chijik, so it is very exclusionary in that sense. So we actually cannot export our VODs, so I have to kind of work through some hoops to try to get that going, and eventually upload it to YouTube. So yeah, we'll have to get around to that at some point. We'll have to get around to it. So yeah, we'll do our best. We will do our best. Regardless, going to be getting into our into our roach follow-up. Oh no! The wall's not a wall. The Hellions and Reapers, they slip into the mineral line. Drones are going to be going down. It's going to be already 3 worker kills, and we're getting even more as drones are getting roasted. Oh, they do line up for a moment. An extra 2 workers. That's going to be 5 kills in total. Meanwhile, the Hellions, they confirm the hatchery. They're actually stuck in a really awkward position. They can't really do much more from here, but they can get another drone. So they can get a drone. They can get a tumor as well. One more volley. Oh, and they will get it. Again, so much value here from Inexorable back across the map. He's getting into his 2-1-1, a 3cc 2-1-1. So a bit of a more economic start from our Brazilian Terran player, getting into a double medevac 16 marine double drop. So very aggressive follow-up here after the 3rd CC. And I mean, he's already found a lot of success. Winding it back a little bit here when it comes to the Zerg player, he is going to be playing Roach, is getting into delayed link speed, into his lair, into Roach tech, but so far it doesn't look like he's being overly aggressive, especially with the lair that's on the way. It looks like Vitorino is planning to drone and play macro. Looks like he does plan on macroing on up. And we'll see where Vitorino goes from here. As Inexorable, he is building up his bio. Again, working towards the eventual Stim timing. Stim is now finishing up, and Medivacs have arrived, and Inexorable should soon push. Should soon be moving out. Remember, this is not an all-in. Behind this is getting his third base fully saturated. Double E-base for double upgrades are on the way as well, so Inexorable's looking quite solid here in that follow-up. And really it comes down to what the Zerg player has to defend. I'm afraid to look. Okay, units tab, 4 Roaches. 4 Roaches, all 4 of them are here at the third base. We have Queens here in between the bases. Vitorino is exposed. He is vulnerable. He doesn't have much to work with. And here comes the bio. And the Terran, he's looking for the Queens, looking for any kind of key snipes. Dust him in. Takes out all the tumors and he can keep going from here. Again, only 4 Roaches and 3 Queens. I mean, Transfuse can help survive. Actually, Inexorable, he doesn't push in. He doesn't commit. He's playing it safe. Rotates into the main, could have gone for the hatchery, but instead going into the main base. He can snipe the Queens, he can and he will. He gets 1. 1 Queen goes down, 2 Queens go down at the same time. A worker is falling here to the Hellions, 10 workers falling, aye. And the Roaches, they don't stand a chance. They fall one after the other, all the Queens as well. And Inexorable, he is snowballing out of control. Even going for the Bailey Nest, he's getting more than just that. Getting into the mineral line. 16 drone kills, aye. Again, insane damage. That was in conjunction with the Hellions here at the third. And he is still not done. Dropping here towards the fourth. Lynx will be able to respond, and not everything was unloaded, so Vitorino, he's going to be able to hold for now. And behind this, Inexorable can just chill, get his third base up and running, get additional factories on the way as well. Building up, settling in. Here we go. As we do see Vitorino's able to keep up somewhat, but it's the drone count. It's the economy that I'm really concerned about. We have 38, now 41 drones for the Zerg, as opposed to the 70 SCVs for the Terran. Inexorable, he's working on fire at this point. He's going for the third base as well. Lings have to respond, no bailing, so really rough trades here in the mineral line. Inexorable, he trades very well. Oh my god. He's gonna kill the Lings, straight up. He will kill every single Ling. The juggling as well from Inexorable. He saves the Marines. And he can keep going. And again, he is just pulling Vitorino apart. Before Inexorable really gets even into his own build, into his own game. Yeah, fourth base falls, hatchery crumbles. There's no more Queens. Roaches are trying to keep up, but alas, Vitorino is being pulled apart left and right. And it's time to stim and to win. Oh no. As Inexorable, he steps his heart out, picks up every single Roach. And at a certain point, we're just going to run the units to pull here. The third hatchery goes down. GG gets called, and Inexorable takes game number 1. GG. Inexorable does take the first game, and maybe if you have yet to tune into these events in the past, you'd be unfamiliar, but Inexorable, he is the strongest Terran player in the bracket. He is poised to make a deep run. If I'm not mistaken, I believe, did he come first or second place last week? Or last edition? He came first. He is the reigning champion. He's the reigning champion here in this tournament. He is poised to make another deep run. We'll see if he can. We'll see if anyone can stop him. He's the one to beat. Is going to be the one to beat here. Here we go. We are settling into our next game. And it's going to be on Oceanborn. I have to get used to casting on these older maps now. I say older maps, the current maps. We've been casting a lot of events on the PTR, a lot of tournaments on the PTR, and it's been quite refreshing. It's been a lot of fun, discussing the maps, talking about them, embracing them, and, you know, learning all these quirks about them as well. But now we're back to basics. We're back to the current map pool. What's also interesting is that we actually don't know which maps are staying. We know that some are. We know that it's going to be, what is it, three of the current maps are going to be sticking around, but we do not know which. Not yet. For now, though, we're settling in. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the yellow Terran player from the land of Brazil, representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing Eximius Gaming, going for a 15-15. It is Vitorino. Interesting. So with a 15-15 opener, this usually leads into roach play. The reason for this, because we're going for a 15 hatchery into a 15 spawning pool, as we should be canceling this gas geyser. Yep, there we go. Because it's going to be hatch into pool into a delayed real gas, because your gas income is so late, usually it's, you know, it's a little bit wiser to just skip link speed entirely and just go straight into roaches instead once you do get into your gas income. That is usually what occurs, so I'm leaning towards that, especially after the roach play that we saw last game out of Vitorino, but we'll see. We'll see if that is the trend here for the Zerg player, or if he does kind of work against that and go into link speed and into banelings, which will be a little bit less efficient, but still possible. For now, though, you see Inexorable just going for a Rax Expand. Standard opener so far. It isn't necessarily about the openers, it's about the follow-up here between our players. Oh. Here we go. Sunshine Marines are pretty good. They're pretty good. Well, that puts like Crank in the duck. I see Maddox in the chat. It means that it's gonna take like a full day's work to properly upload and get all the VODs ready on YouTube. Like, what I mean by that is that we have to individually re-record the VODs from the VOD and then render them and then edit them and then upload them, and it's gonna be a whole process for each individual match from Elima League. I mean, they're really good. They're really good matches. Like, the highlight for me was definitely like Clem versus Down, and also Trap versus Oliveira, Oliveira versus Cure. Just some really good matches, and again, I do recommend them. I do recommend the VOD. I mean, the VOD is available on Chijik. VOD is available. We did post a link in our Discord server earlier. I think we'll make a tweet or a post about it as well, just so everyone can be aware of the VOD itself. But yeah, it is going to be available, and it'll eventually be available on YouTube. Yeah. It's gonna take some extra work. I think the problem is that it's gonna take like a full day's worth of like editing and rendering. But the problem is that I just don't have that time because I'm casting. I just mentioned it. Like, after this cast, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna crash hard. Like, and then I wake up and then we just keep casting, right? So it's more about like finding time to dedicate to that sort of thing, where like the PC isn't doing anything else, right? Tomorrow we have the Tussle, or the Turtle Tussle, I should say. We have the Podcast, we have Infinite League. I will find some time. I think I can do it over the weekend, but it's a couple of days from now. So, which is a shame, but regardless, it's all good. Meanwhile, back at home, 3cc, once again, same build. Same build here from Inexorable. He's going at 3cc into a 2-1-1. So once again, it's going to be a stim timing with a double medevac push. So same build 2 games in a row. There's the starport now on the way. Should be seeing a reactor into an add-on swap. Meanwhile, Vitorino back at home. Once again, roach play, which, as we mentioned, with a 15-15 makes sense. Makes sense to skip link speed, go straight into roaches. Now, when it comes to kind of dissecting or going over the last game and, you know, where we could have gone and where we should have gone, unfortunately, Vitorino, he was being a little bit too greedy. This time he hasn't lost any drones. If you remember last game, he was having a very hard time maintaining himself and a very hard time limiting kills here from the Reaper. So far so good. A much better early game here by the Zerg player, definitely. But it's also about recognizing the build that you're up against and recognizing what you can and can't get away with. We saw that when the 2-on-1 hit, what did Vitorino have? He had 4 roaches. He had 4 roaches and 4 queens. That just was not enough. That did not cut it when it came to the defense. So hopefully Vitorino, he's able to respect the build a little bit more. Overlord Scout will confirm. He gets eyes on the CC.
Nice.
CC has pulled it over. Oh, shout out to in control. But he also gets eyes on the 2-on-1. So he has seen enough. He should know. He should be aware. And we do need extra roaches. I'm not too fond of the early Bailey nest. We saw this same thing in game 1 as well. I don't like it too much because we invested into the roach warren, we're investing into roaches, but now we're spending some gas and resources on link speed and on banelings when this kind of link bane composition, I mean, it's not going to come into play. I know when we threw down the roach warren this early on. So it's just a little bit inefficient, and what this means is that the resources spent on these upgrades on this tech could have been spent on more roaches. And without them, I mean, here comes the army, and Vitorino, he has not much to work with. And Inexorably sims in, going for the queens, so we have a chance to use. Okay, the army backs off, waits out the stim, not too bad, boys are being pulled. And it looks like the Marines are going to be forced to pick up. Vitorino, he does hold, it will cost him 5 workers, and the drop gets into the main. He's going for another queen. And we'll get it. Queen goes down, they bust into the middle line, more drones falling. Gets 1 roach, going for another. The target firing gets 14. Oh my god, 14 roaches. Sorry, 14 drones go down. Not like this, I'm afraid to look. It's going to be 14 drone kills, 12 lings, 2 roaches, a queen. A lot of value. A lot of value here, and as you can see, what, barely almost 1 full medevac worth of Marines goes down. Not even. That's going to be 6 Marine kills. As well, alongside the Hellions. And from here, Inexorable, he can just keep trading. Cancel trade very well. Gonna back off, gonna recover his HP. Behind this is getting ready for his second move out for his reinforcements. He's gonna be getting ready. And here comes the follow-up. This time with tanks, with more Marines, with additional medevacs. Now, as Inexorable moves out, Vitorino, he's going for a link run-by, and there's not much at him to defend, so there's potential. There's potential for damage. He will get into the middle line, but there are reinforcements back at home. Yeah, Marines, they stim in, and Inexorable, he does not turn around. Oof, he cleans up the lings. The SCVs, they just turn and fight. Not a single SCV goes down. And now Inexorable, he can now focus on the push. It's only 1 tank, but are there any banelings? Oh, not quite. Stims on forward. We do get a couple of transfuses, but the roaches, they crumble. Like, roaches cannot fight this head on, not like this. The roaches, they all go down one after the other. And Inexorable, he has snowballed out of control. He breaks through the roaches. There's no link bane here to work with. Queen's full as well. The mineral line's going to get annihilated, and yeah, with this, the follow-up push is just going to be enough to just take down Vitorino, his third base, and everything moving forward as well. Really crisp execution from Inexorable, and it really is quite punishing as well. It leaves little room for error for Vitorino, and there it is. GG gets called, and Inexorable will take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Inexorable will take the series, will advance on into the next round, and the question becomes, who does he have waiting for him? If anyone. Let's find out. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Shout out to Vitorino. He's more of an amateur player. He is more of an amateur player, but he's still willing to take part and willing to be a part of the community, be a part of the tournament scene here in Brazil, and still does sign up on a very regular basis. So much love here to Vitorino. Clearly, when it comes to the overall build, there is room for improvement, especially when it comes to refining it and making sure that you can be ready in time for the 2-on-1 and for the follow-up as well. But this is also where it can be very valuable to take and learn from these replays and grow from them as well. It's one of those things where this can be quite valuable to you. Obviously, there are Terran players closer to Vitorino's skill that won't be executing as strong and as hard as Inexorable, but that's also why it's good to kind of learn from that to be able to be ready for even better play and improve as a player. For sure, 100%. With that, we can head on over here to the bracket and have a look at... Oh, Any results? So far, just one, but now we can go over all the matches. Okay, from the top. From the very top, to introduce you to the Brazilian scene, if you're maybe a little bit unfamiliar, we have Master. Master is the #1 seed. Master is the strongest Protoss player in Brazil. I would have said that with more confidence, but recently Shakti made a return. So Shakti and Master, they're 1 and 2. They're a little bit interchangeable there, and they go back and forth. But for the most part, I would say Shakti, he's not in the bracket. So Master is the #1 Protoss player in the entire bracket here tonight, and he is poised to make it to the finals. We'll see if anyone can stop it. Scrolling down, we have Mantequilla. Let's go up against Ares. We also have, oh, my apologies, we have Master's opponent. It's going to be Void as well. Best of luck to Void, best of luck to Mantequilla and Ares as well. Best of luck. Scrolling down, we have Kamikaze versus Firebat and Acordado versus DTWB. Oh boy, we have... I would say that Kamikaze is one of the stronger Terran players in the bracket and can be poised to make a deep run as well, to make it to the quarterfinals, maybe even the finals. Oh, sorry, maybe even the semis. But I would say that Kamikaze versus Acordado is going to be kind of the go-to match in the quarterfinals. For those who don't know, Acordado, he is Sleepy. He's a very strong Zerg player in Brazil. He's Sleepy, aka Dominoco. That's his ID. And yeah, I do think that he and Kamikaze are quite comparable in skill, and I think that they're going to make for a very, very close ZVT. I do look forward to that in the quarterfinals. Scrolling down, we have an update. We have our next series. Let's go. This is why I dove on Inexorable versus Vitorino. I mentioned before, Inexorable, he is the strongest Terran player in the bracket. He's an up-and-coming Brazilian Terran, and he's going to be going up against Allison. Allison is a very strong Protoss player in Brazil. Both of them, of course, are GM, and I feel like this will make for a very strong quarterfinals match. That's up next. Inexorable versus Allison. Scrolling down, we have our boy. We have one of our own. We have Eric. Eric, he is a part of the CranKy Ducklings. Eric is facing off against Elfo in the first round. Eric is the best Zerg player in all of Brazil. And Eric is another one of those big names, those big favorites. The big three that we're looking at in this bracket are Master, Inexorable, and Eric. Those are the big three to look out for. There are definitely others that can threaten them, like Allison, like Acordado, or like Sleepy, like Kamikaze as well. There are definitely those that can threaten them, but the three that I mentioned are still going to be the favorites coming into this, the top 3 of the tournament. And because of that, because Eric and Inexorable are in the lower half of the bracket, that is the portion that I'm going to be focusing on. I do hope to cast some Eric later on down the line, at least in the quarterfinals or in the semis. That is the hope, that is the plan. For now, we are getting ready. We're getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready for our next match. It is going to be Inexorable versus Allison. Let's go. We're getting into that TVP. This is going to be a closer series. Again, when it came to Inexorable and Vitorino, there was a little bit more of a skill gap there. But again, much love to Vitorino for competing and for taking part. Here, Allison and Inexorable. I'm hoping for even an ace match. That could be possible. Oh, apologies. Just have to join. Getting into the bracket itself. We go. Okay, here we go. Just setting things up, setting up our players, setting up our lobby. Let us go. And once we can get those vetoes underway. Sorry, we can get the predictions underway once we load into the game. It's catching up. I like to play with words. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. You're not the only one in the chat. Not the only one, Bobby. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. Game 1 is going to be on ocean board. You can hear the beeps. We are loading into the first game. Vetoes are done. The quarterfinals are upon us. Are upon us. Here we go. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Play show who you think will take the series. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Allison, aka Aligod. No. But here we go. We are going to be settling in, and my eyes are going to be on our Protoss player here to see how they do approach. Oh my god, as we are setting up for a proxy. Oh, are we? No, never mind. Okay. We are rallied here towards the southern half of the map, but I think we're rallying back in towards the main. No, never mind. The probe is sticking around. Show us what you got. As Allison is getting ready for the proxy pylon. Meanwhile, Inexorable going for a single gas opener. This tells us that Inexorable is going for an economic build, going for a Rax into CC on the low ground, something much more economic, which means he would be vulnerable to aggression. There's the pylon, and we will soon be seeing some gateways. Let us go. It's going to be a one gateway back at home, and I imagine the gateway across the map. Yep, there we go. Second gateway has been placed. With this, we can go for initially a Zealot to run across the map, with proxied Stalker and Adept. I say that. No Zealot on the way yet here for Allison. Interesting. Probe dips in, and Allison will confirm one gas. Does confirm a single gas opener, does confirm the CC on the low ground. Allison knows that his opponent is vulnerable. At the same time, we do see that Inexorable does scout, does confirm that something is amiss, that there should soon be an expansion, and that there is none. So a big scout from the Terran. I mean, again, there should be a Nexus. Without it, something is wrong, something is amiss. Ooh, the Reaper does not scout at home. It moves out of... There we go. Reaper does turn back around, is going to be checking and scouting the proxy locations, and will come across the gateway. So nice scouting here by Inexorable. Does confirm. Stalkers are on the way, and Inexorable is going for the bunker on the low ground. Bold move. He's going to try and hold on to the natural, not the main. So more of a risky maneuver here from the Terran. Stalker has arrived. Reaper takes a lot of hits. Bunker's under fire. And the SCV doesn't go down. Oh, the Reaper does though. Reaper does fall. Stalker taking a lot of hits. The second Stalker has arrived. Gets a Marine. One Marine left. The bunker is up. The bunker is up. Yo, we're going proxy void, right? Let's go! The Stargate gets placed, and are we feeling proxy void right here? Or, I mean, it's a one-way soul-in, right? Especially with another gateway. There's no expanding behind this. There's no, like, Oracle opener into a Nexus. No shot. It's all or nothing for Allison. Now, the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be here for Inexorable. Behind this, his factory is done. Cyclone's on the way. Starport as well for Viking production, potentially. Bunker taking a lot of hits, but the boys are being pulled to repair. Nice snipe on some of those SCVs. Oh! Cyclone does not get the Stalker. One more shot! One more! Oh my god! What a mass, papi! Almost! If the Cyclone went down, that would have been huge. But the Cyclone does survive. Void Ray is on the way. There are no shield batteries with this. Man, the gas guys were stolen the main. Let's go. Love to see it. Speaking of shield batteries, I imagine the pylon is for those forward shield batteries as well. But again, I feel like without sniping that Cyclone, Inexorable, he's just building up a little bit too much. He's got a tank on the way, Viking as well. Allison is on the timer. There's a shield battery. Void Ray has arrived. And he has to break this position here and now, before the reinforcements arrive. SCV does confirm. And here we go. Allison pushes in. Takes down the Void Ray. Goes for the tank. But the tank is going to go down. Takes down one Stalker. Oh, and the Void Ray. Void Ray goes down as well. That was brutal. And Allison has to break this bunker, but it's not happening. The bunker holds. Second Void Ray has arrived. Going for SCVs. Marines putting in a lot of DPS, taking down 2 of their stalkers. Oh, the bunker! Oh, it lives! The repair's too good! The repair's just a little bit too good, and Inexorable he's holding. The tank has arrived. He's holding, he's surviving. Allison was so close again earlier, so close to sniping the initial Cyclone. So close to breaking the bunker. But close is not good enough. Not in StarCraft. Really, Allison is hoping that maybe Inexorable overextends and moves out, unloads the bunker and pushes out into the open, but that should never happen. As now there's a second tank. More Marines amassing. And things are looking bleak here at Inexorable. He has a massive economic lead. Remember, Allison is 1 base all in. Adepts threatening a shade. Oh, does he commit? He does. Commits onto the tank. The first tank is going to fall, but there's another tank behind this. Void Ray goes down. GG gets called, and Inexorable will survive and take game number 1. GG. Does take the first game. Does take a lead. Whew, a very intense game 1. Very, very intense. And I feel like it's going to be a short series here. I mean, even if it goes to the ace match, I would not be surprised if Allison has some more cheese up his sleeve. But now we have our map of choice. We're going to be loading into Site Delta. Let's go. Let us go. So we have our second game. We're all going to be filing in. Meanwhile, shout out to Cosmos, of course, as Cosmos is covering other portions of the bracket as well. He's actually covering DTWB versus Dorminoko. Ah, there you go. Is covering that series. Here we go. So it looks like we have, thankfully, kind of like split ourselves up, and he's covering the upper half of the bracket, and we're focusing on the lower half instead. And here it is, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Allison. Keep an eye on those workers. We'll keep an eye on any kind of move out, any kind of proxy, any kind of setup here from the Protoss. Eyes are going to be on Allison. Now everything looking as it should. But now we can calm down. When it comes to Site Delta, because of the unique feature of the ramp coming into the natural, it is a lot more defendable because you have the high ground advantage that you otherwise do not on other maps. Because of that, Allison going for an all-in on this map isn't going to be as effective, or it's going to be a little bit more difficult to pull off. So I would imagine that Allison has a different plan and would have a different approach. At least I would hope. I would hope that that's the case. No PTR. Regular game. I see someone asking in the chat, is this on the PTR? We have been casting a lot of tournaments on the PTR. We even casted the last Elite League on the PTR as well last night. But no, this event here is not on the PTR. It's going to just be the current state of the game with the current map pool and the current patch. Do apologize. But we've been casting a lot of PTR tournaments. A lot of them. And I believe our next PTR cast is going to be in 2 days' time. No, sorry. It's going to be tomorrow. Right. It's going to be tomorrow. The Nations Turtle Tussle will be on the PTR. As Inexorable does move out with his initial Reaper. Again, it was a Rax Expand economic opener out of the Terran player, and he will confirm there is a Nexus. Does confirm there is a Nexus, there's an expansion. So far, Allison playing standard. So far. I mean, clearly after game 1, we know that he's more than willing to go all in, more than willing to spice things up. See if he does so here. Reaver dips into the main. Ooh, does not see the tech. Barely does not get eyes on the Twilight Council. Now, in my mind, especially because of how aggressive Allison was in game 1, when I see Twilight Council, when I see Blink, I'm feeling 4-gate Blink. Right? I'm feeling just 2-base aggression here from Allison. And this is not a bad map for it. It can take a little bit more work to actually dive into the main just because of the choke point here. But it's still possible. So we'll see. Ooh, as Reaper goes down. And how many gates? Well, we have an... Oh my god, that is not Blink! Okay, never mind. That is going to be charged. Charged on the way. It is going to be 4 gates, as we did mention. So we got it half correct. I was assuming 4-gate Blink. It is a 4-gate charge from Allison. This is much more committed. This does not scale as well into the mid-game. You have that much less to work with when it comes to shutting down drop play and just gaining map control. But this can hit like a truck. This looks like the beginning of a 2-base all-in. When I say it did look like the beginning, and now it's looking like the end of a 2-base all-in. Now it's we have confirmation. That is a 5th gateway. 5th gateway. I would not be surprised if we throw down a 6th gateway as well, like a 6-gate 2-base all-in. That would make sense. I do think that off of 2 bases, that is enough to facilitate 4 6 gates. And you can see here as well, he's pulled out of gas. No gas income in the main base whatsoever. It's purely minerals, purely zealot, purely all in. Here we go. Allison is pushing. Allison just has to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked. At the same time, a marine drop across the map. We're going to end up in a really awkward position. We're going for a base trade, essentially. We're just going for a pseudo base trade. Here we go. As Allison does dive in. Massive warp into the main, does avoid the bunkers. And the warp-in does complete. These are vanilla marines at the same time. Inexorable does hit the natural. Ooh, massive mine shots. 10 probes go down. But it's not about the natural, it's about the main armies and how they clash. Tank on the high ground doing what it can. Marines, they bust into the mineral line. Probes are falling left and right. Allison will lose all of his economy. And what about Inexorable? Oh, another massive warp in on top of the tank. The tank is trapped. He can't get out. And GG gets called. It looks like Allison does it. And Allison ties up the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god. The warp in, the lockdown on the tank. Very, very nicely done. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3. As it should be. As it should be. Here we go. Here we go. What do you think of a PTR icon so you can hide or show on the layout so let people know? I mean, I feel like there are plenty of context clues when it comes to whether or not it is the PTR. Fun fact, every PTR tournament that we have casted has been on the new maps. And whenever you watch a game, you'll know, hey, that's Side Delta. That's, Oceanborn. That's Ghost River. That's Alkione. Huh, that's a bit odd. Like, isn't that a current map in the current map pool? True. Like, that's... I would say that would be like the more immediate tell is what map they're playing on, just because all the PTR tournaments that we've casted have been on the new map pool, not on the current map pool. Just at a glance, I should say. At a glance. But here we go, we're getting into our next game and spawning in the top, or we're getting into the ace match, I should say, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ghost River, we have the yellow Terran player from the land of Brazil representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is Allison. Let us go. As it is time for Inexorable to be the aggressor. He's had enough. He's had enough defending. He's had enough taking these all-ins, whether it's a one-base all-in from game 1 or two-base all-in from game 2. Here in game 3, Inexorable's going for the proxy racks in the natural of Allison. And I imagine this is going to be a 2-rack setup. 1 proxied, 1 back at home, but never mind. We'll see. We'll see how Inexorable does kind of bring this all together. Meanwhile, Allison does not probe scout, so Allison is going to be in the dark. Oh, that is brutal. If this, typically this probe would move out across the map to scout and confirm what's going on. Without the probe scout, Allison's going to have a delayed reaction. Allison's going to have no reaction. We go. As the SV does dip in, Reaper's on the way. There is a singular gateway back at home for Allison, thankfully. And this pylon isn't really set up for a proxy robo. It's too close to the main base of Allison. This could just be proxy Stargate. Oh, never mind. It is proxy robo. Now, on the one hand, because we're on Ghost River, the rush distance by ground is short, true. So, I mean, I guess you could use this to facilitate for an all-in, but it's still a little bit further back. It's still just a really awkward location. We often see them here, or even here, like right behind this mineral patch and these rocks. Meanwhile, the Reaper has arrived. Bunker behind the mineral line. Probes are going down. There is that Stalker. And with the help of the Stalker, the bunker is denied, but that's going to be 3 probe kills already. Getting up to 4. 4 probes go down. Reaper gets the hell out of here. Does pull away. Reaper does pull away. Second Reaper does pop. Inexorable should recognize as well. Where's the second pylon? The second pylon is missing immediately. Inexorable should be scouting, and he is. There we go. Checking these standard proxy locations, as we mentioned before, behind these minerals and rocks. He's also checking here behind these rocks as well. So he's checking all the standard locations, and he will find the robo. Does find it. Is aware Immortal's on the way. And back at home, Inexorable stays on one base. Double gas, faster factory, cyclone production, faster starport as well. Inexorable is looking quite secure. Meanwhile, here comes the Immortal, waddling across the map. Does waddle across. Getting an SCV. Oh! Shields are triggered. Nice pick up here from Inexorable. Pulls away. Boys are being pulled to repair. A little bit premature here. Oh, he wants to take the fight to the Immortal. Oh my god, he wants it! He does want the Immortal. Viking has arrived. That'll be to zone away and to shut down the Prism. Oh my god, the Immortal gets knocked up. Gets knocked away. Prism under fire. And Inexorable shutting this down. He's completely shutting this down. The Stalker falls, and Inexorable, he can chase! He could! Opts not to. Calms things down. Pulls away. The Immortal survives, so does the War Prism. Focusing on repairing first. As he's building up more Cyclones. And Allison expands. Allison does opt to expand instead. And Inexorable doesn't press his advantage. He comes back home. I mean, I don't blame him. Based on how aggressive and how assertive Allison has been this entire series, he's expecting another push. But because of that, he's allowing Allison to recover. Isn't there yet. The Nexus is only halfway done. And there we go. The army moves out. As he moves out, the Prism is poised to move in. Observer spots the army. Inexorable now out of position. And where do the Immortals go? Robots found. Immortals. Oh, they turned back around. I assumed that it was going to be they were going to be dropping here in the mineral line. But Allison makes a choice to come back to defend. And I'm not sure he can. That's a lot of Cyclones. It's 4 Cyclones, 2 Vikings. Shield battery still on the way. Again, the only anti-air is the one Stalker. Soon to be a second. Vikings, they can commit. And they can and they will. They're going for the Prism. Shield battery will finish up. Can pop the Overcharge. There it is. Overcharge gets popped. But the Immortal still goes down. 1-2 Immortal kills. The Overcharge does nothing. It's not enough. It is not good enough. I say that is saving the Adept, though. There's just not enough DPS. Not enough firepower. Inexorable, he has to respect the Overcharge. Being a little bit too stubborn here. Does keep fighting and will lose his Cyclones. It wasn't a bad trade for Inexorable, but again, overconfident. Was overconfident, has to back up. Allison barely holding. Tank has arrived, charge kicking in. And without kiting those charges, they can trade very well. Yeah, they shut down the Cyclone. Allison holds. Allison does hold. Inexorable turning back around. Pulling back. And now the worker counts are, I mean, they're neck and neck. 26 probes to 26 SCVs. Inexorable has no CC. He's falling behind. The Terran player is falling behind in a longer macro game. Allison on a 2-base setup is saturating. And Inexorable has to make a choice. Does he expand, or does he go for a 1-base all-in? Based on these libs, it's an all-in. And I would not be opposed to pulling the boys. There it is. I would not be opposed to pulling the boys. There we go. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for Inexorable. Here we go. And he does have the army supply lead. With the help of those workers, he should be able to break this. Force fields could actually complicate things quite a bit. There's also going to be an overcharge available here as well. Can Allison survive this? Liberators will complicate things though. Liberation has arrived. The boys push in. Zealots, they're going to fall. There's the overcharge. But there's just not enough Zealots. Zealots, they melt. Liberator goes down, but the Marines are pushing forward. Once again, they pick up the Zealots. They take down the shield battery. And Inexorable has done it. He breaks the back of Allison. GG. Inexorable will take the series 2-1. Will advance on to the semifinals. GG, well played. Inexorable will take the series. Did go all the way to the Ace match, and honestly, I could have seen even that game going either way as well. Allison did pose quite a threat. Unfortunately, Allison did not quite have enough to defend that natural. Additional shield batteries would have gone a long way, definitely, or even additional sentries for some force fields. If there was maybe 2-3 sentries, then definitely there would have been a chance to slice up the army, to cut off the SCVs from the main force, deal with one army first, then the other, something of that nature. Regardless, GG. Inexorable does take it. Does take it in the end. And now we are headed to the semis. Does Inexorable have an opponent? Let's find out. Let us find out. And we do. Oh my god. Exclamation mark. Be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. Slipping into those EMs, letting them know that up next we have Eric. Eric takes down his opponent's 2-0 piece, takes down Elfo, takes down Tatagiba as well, and Eric is up against Inexorable in the first semifinals of the tournament. We're going to be jumping in. We will be embracing it. Meanwhile, I just have an update. Cosmos has been covering Acordado, aka Dominoko, Sleepy, and is following that series into Kamikaze. That's also going to be a juicy ZVT. Two ZVTs on both streams, on both channels. We, of course, are focusing on our semis, though. On the semifinals. Just need a moment to get things ready. vetoes are underway. And we'll see who's able to take this in the end. Again, I think Kamikaze and Dominoko are still in game 1. Let me actually just double check. We have the technology. Checking out Cosmos' stream. Yeah, I think they're still just getting into their series. Which means once we wrap up on the lower semis, we'll be able to catch up with the upper semifinals as well. We'll be able to catch on up and cover both. That is the ideal. It is going to be the ideal here. So I'm just catching up. Meanwhile, it looks like our players, they need a little bit of time to get their vetoes going. So I'm more than happy to go on a short break. More than happy to calm things down, go on a short break, and yeah, take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes with Eric versus Inexorable. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Come back in a couple of minutes. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended break there, but we have returned and we're jumping in mid-series into the final quarterfinals match. We did have Eric versus Inexorable ready for us, and they are still ready. They've been patiently waiting for us, waiting for this series to conclude. So we are jumping into the conclusion of the series. We're jumping into the ace match and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkion. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Zerg player. Ooh, going for 15-15. The red Zerg representing Eximius Gaming as well as their teammates. It is Dorminoko. And if you're in the chat, predictions open. Play show bets on who you think will take the series. Again, it was a very close. Series in the end. So replying to a message, but yes, if you you can of course bet on the series if you wish. Meanwhile, oh my god, proxy hatch across the map. I do apologize for how long the break was, but it's because these two players were locked into a 20-minute game, or 25-minute game, Mech versus Broodlord Infestor. Went all the way to the late game. Meanwhile, Dorminoko does kick things off with that hatch block in the main to delay, to force a bit of an overreaction, an overreaction ideally. Meanwhile, Dorminoko should be just building up back at home. We'll be expanding. Should be expanding back at home. Should be canceling the space as well. I say should. It's gonna be close. Ooh, back there we go. Does cancel in time. Gets the Evo Chamber as well, just to delay a little bit further. I mean, I don't think there's a reason to attack the Evo Chamber, right? I mean, it's not really, it's not really threatening anything, but sure. Meanwhile, across the map, Kamikaze does confirm that, of course, there is a hatchery on the way. There is an expansion, and Dorminoko is going to be droning from here. Is going to be droning up. Oof. As one more drone does fall. Kamikaze from here are going to be hunting down the Overlord, and that's going to be a big delay on the expansion, actually. I mean, Dominoko, he does a lot. So he's going to be double expanding behind this, but again, the CC is heavily delayed for Kamikaze, floats the racks, and should be going for the factory behind this. That would make the most sense. Would it make the most sense? As the Overlord does fall. Oof, Dominoko a little bit upset about that. Feels bad, man. Overlord does go down. Okay. Smooch, papi, smooch. But the Overlord does go down. And meanwhile, behind this, we do see that Kamikaze is getting into his factory, is settling into a longer game state. And we'll see if he goes into a mech again. That's what I'm most concerned about. Again, he did embrace mech completely in that last game that was happening over on Cosmos' stream, so it could happen again. Oh no. Not again, papi, not again. Not like this. So now Dominoko just getting his 3-wave setup, droning up from here, saturating his bases. Again, factory and heli production was delayed. And hopefully Dominoko doesn't skip out on too many queens. Hopefully. So maybe we can calm down. Ooh, Overlord speed is on the way. Interesting. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe Dominoko does go Overlord speed, even in games where he doesn't go for a drop lord all in. I believe it is just a scout. Just confirm what Kamikaze is up to. Meanwhile, it's going to be a 1-1-1 into BC. Let's go. Here's going to be a BC opener. And it's going to be on the Zerg player to confirm. Ling does dip in. Oh, doesn't get much done. Scout is denied. But there's the Overlord on the right-hand side. Poised going to the main. Fusion Core will finish. And it looks like Overlord speed is going to finish up in time. It looks like Dominoko should get eyes on everything in the main. A big shoot on that one. I mean, there's no anti-air. So should get eyes on this. We do have a couple of Spore Crawlers on the way. Okay, a Spore in the natural, Spore in the main, and Spore at the third. Massing up Queens, droning up. Here comes that Overlord. And despite the Marine, it is going to get behind the mineral line. Does get eyes on the factory. Sorry, on the Fusion Core, sees it researching. And Dominoko is fully aware. Upon seeing this, there's the lair. Lair needs to be for the Spire in case, I mean, upon researching, upon seeing the Yamato being researched, he should be aware that there's going to be multiple BCs. And we need Queens more than anything. Hellions go for the dive. Lings are keeping up. Very nicely done. Lings, they do lock down the Hellions on the Evo. Oh my god, the Evo Chamber. Let's go. Evo Chamber does lock them in. Hellions are cleaned up. Hellions are cleaned up, and now here comes the BCs teleporting across the map into the main. How many queens do we have? Oh, only 5? Dominoko, he's been skipping queens. He has been delaying queen production, and that's gonna hurt. I mean, the Spore does dish out a lot of damage on the BC. 5 drone kills. BC is gonna be forced back. Actually, Dominoko holding quite nicely. I mean, the Spore put in most of the work there. Dealt so much damage to that battle cruiser. And with that, Dominoko should be okay. Gonna be losing another worker. Another 2 drones. Oh, and a queen. 2 drones and a queen. So far, Dominoko is going to be able to maintain himself, does zone the BC way, and will saturate. Will saturate his bases. I do see someone asking in the chat whether the Turtle Cup is tomorrow. It is. It is going to be tomorrow. You can check on Challenge the exact time and date for the event. I do know that Wikipedia does say that it's going to be on the 6th of November, but that is NA time. I believe Wikipedia, they do use like PST or something like that. As Hellions, they dive into the natural. Very committed here out of Kamikaze. Busting into the mineral line. Drones are getting roasted. Oh, the BC may not have gotten much damage, but oh my god, the boys are being pulled into the Hellions not like this. Oh my god. 9 drones. 9 drones go down. Brutal. And again, that was only for Hellions. BCs, they survive. They do get repaired. They get topped up. And of course, once again, Kamikaze is embracing mech. And again, this is why we had a big delay leading into this, just because of the more mech style. We're going to be loading into Alkione, a map very much known for the late game as well. And we could be here for a while. Let's go. Could be here for a while. I checked it after I got up today. Nah, smudge. It's all good. It's not a bad thing to wake up early. Wake up in the morning. Aye, aye, aye. But here we go. BCs, they are going to be moving out. Again, 3 Yamadas available. 4th BC on the way. It's non-stop BC production. Aye, aye, aye. Meanwhile, let's shout out to Anonymous for the $4.20. Oh, for the 420 party. Thank you so much. Gracias. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the tip. And I hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoyed the StarCraft. I'm currently running on fumes. I do apologize. I don't know if you can hear, but at times I'm like slurring my words, and I'm hanging in there. Unlike Dominoko here, as the BCs, they do waddle into the main. They get 8 drone kills. Corruptors have arrived. BCs, they teleport the hell out of there. But I'm running on fumes. Basically, last night I was casting, I said last night, earlier this morning, technically. I was casting Elima League, and I have not slept. I was supposed to, but when I was casting Elima League, I decided to drink coffee to, like, you know, stay alert and stay up for it. And that may have been a mistake, because I just could not sleep afterwards. I could not sleep after Elima League, and now we're here. Now we're here with Code for Giants Cup. So, the fatigue is setting in a little bit, but as was said earlier by someone in the chat, really all that means is that I'm just gonna sleep like a baby after this cast. It's gonna be so good. My head is gonna touch the pillow, and I'm not gonna get up ever again. It's gonna be amazing. But yeah, basically it's no. It's been an intense couple of days where I've been like sleeping like in like portions of like 2, 3, 4 hours at most, but I didn't get to sleep last night. So there we go. And now we're here. So we'll make it. We'll make it. Don't worry. That's also why I was dreading this mech game. Not gonna lie, I was like, oh no, don't tell us we have to cast Kamikaze. Not in the TVZ. And Cosmos was like, well, no, we're casting it. Okay. Okay. I'm good to go. We'll do it. As we do see, Dominoko just taking more bases, droning up to 82. Likewise, more BCs coming in from the right-hand side. Here we go, the BCs that do hit the southern expansion. Going for the mineral line, they take down the spore. So many drones going down. It's going to be 9, 10, 11. Oh my god, 11 workers. And from there, BCs can teleport away. They can just teleport away. They Yamada some of the Corruptors. They can even hold their own in a fight. Very efficient trades here for Kamikaze. The power of the BC. And do they get another Corruptor? They will. Yeah, another. Oh my god, the Corruptor does pull away in time. And look at the trades, that was 4 Corruptors. That was 2 the Yamadas. And of course, the 11 drone kills. The Spore. All the BCs survived. And from here, Dominoko, he has to re-drone, re-saturate. He's getting into his upgrades. 1-1 on the way. Alongside the Hive, alongside everything else. Meanwhile, back at home, Kamikaze is going to be just turtling up. Turtling up, moving out with those tanks. Is actually moving out with a push. Interesting. Kamikaze has yet to max out, so I'm impressed. I'm impressed that he is actually moving out. He's actually pushing. up the Lings. Bailings have morphed in. Tanks. Oh my god, the massive tank show up. The Bailings, they get annihilated. Not like this. The Bailings do nothing. Hellion Cyclone pushing forward. Lings, they try to dive in. They will get on top of the tanks. And they force some friendly fire. The Lings, they accomplish more than the Bailings, but alas, it looks like KamiKaze is breaking through, pushing into the mineral line, into the natural. Out of range of his own tanks, though. The Ling Ravager can hold their own. And KamiKaze fighting with half his army will lose all the Cyclones. Again, he left the rest of his army behind. More reinforcements on the way. BCs towards the right-hand side. And the tanks, they're on their own. Again, Ling Ravager can deal with this. But we'll see. We shall see. Species, they head towards the right-hand side. Oh my god. Getting 12 drones. Oh, the drop on the BC. Torinoko having fun. And there we go. Does come in with the rest of his Lings. We'll clean up the battlecruiser. Sorry, we'll clean up the tanks. Meanwhile, battlecruiser is still wreaking havoc. Getting another expansion. Moving forward. Nice amount of the bases. CCs are going down. But KamiKaze has a bank. That's the problem here. He still has a bank. He runs into the main army of Dorminoko. Shuts down the Lings. Gets on top of the Roach Ravager. BCs that teleport over to support. We'll see if Dorminoko can hold on and survive this. He's running out of lava, running out of resources. Does have the gold, and that will help, true. Corruptors, they're looking for some value. Oh, that was a big investment into these Corruptors. Too many Corruptors, actually. I was curious what the supply was. They will snipe the base, sure, but they need more than that. BC gets saved. The ground army's pushing forward, and the ground army for Dorminoko is lacking. Is going to be lacking here. Moving forward, gaining more ground. More base is being taken. And Dorminoko has built up an army, but as a reminder, a lot of the supply is in Corruptor. Is in Corruptor, not in Roach Ravager. Again, the Mass Corruptor is hurting him more than anything. It was a big investment. GG, well played against Cold, and KamiKaze will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. KamiKaze will take it in the end. Again, we saw the Dorminoko. He was able to hold his own, was able to have some good moments, don't get me wrong, but alas, was overwhelmed. Likewise, did overly invest into those Corruptors as well. The BCs were getting a lot of value. The Hellion dives and Hellion run-bys as well were popping up. It was insane how much value they were gaining. And in the end, congratulations. Congratulations here to KamiKaze. And with that, we're getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready here for our semis. I mentioned before, up next should be Eric versus Inexorable. Here we go. Until then, though, we're going to be going on a very short break. It looks like our lobby is getting ready, so we don't have too much time. But we're going to be going on a very short break. When we come back, we'll have our semifinals. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals, los semifinales here of Code Red Giants Cup number 14, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. Oh, here we go. Now we can settle in. Now we can focus on our matches. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the yellow Terran representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, oh, going for a 15, we have the red Zerg player for the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. What does he stand for? He stands for endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. The F in his name stands for fear. It is Eric. It's been too long. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we've casted Eric. I'm happy to reintroduce him once again to the people, to the world. Here we go. Eric is a very aggressive player, very unorthodox. He does come up with his own builds more often than not, and he's going for a 15 pull into a gas geyser. Interesting. Now, with this kind of setup, Eric, he will have access to faster Lings and faster Roach Warren. That is, Roach Warren has been thrown down. Eric is going for an early on Roach Rush. Again, Eric, he is very much so in your face. Now, this is a rematch from last week. Last week, these two faced off in the semifinals, and Inexorable won the series. It went all the way to the ace match, went all the way to game 3, but Inexorable did come out on top, did take the 2-1. We'll see if Eric can get his revenge. I believe he can. I do favor Eric overall, but Inexorable has proven that he has been able to raise his level to the point where he can bring someone like Eric down. He is no slouch. He is no one to take lightly. And Eric, he is not holding back. He is not going to be holding back here. So we are going to be getting into our game. SCV Scout does confirm, does get eyes on the Roach Warren, and Eric knows he got scattered. Now, the question becomes, how many Roaches, how many Ravagers, how all in, how committed is Eric as he's making two Roaches, and then he expands. Only 2 Roaches. He is staying in gas, and these 2 Roaches can morph into Ravagers, but again, it is a very, very light commitment into this Roach push. It is literally only 2 Roaches, soon to be 2 Ravagers. That is it. That is all that Eric has. And he's hoping to force an overreaction. We can see, oh my god, 2 bunkers. I mean, look at this. 2 bunkers on the way for Inexorable. He's walling up here on the high ground as well. Inexorable is reacting very hard, and it makes sense because Eric, he is one to be hyper aggressive and all in, which is why he isn't. I mentioned before that Eric, he does often play with a lot of mind games. Even here, only 1 Ravager. Only 1. Roach has arrived, does delay the CC just in time. Can he force a cancel? No shot. Boys are being pulled. SCV is being brought here to the Roach Ravager. Ravager is revealed. SCVs are going to be going down. And Eric, can he delay the CC even further? Oh my god. Very nice control. Boys are saved. CC's lifted. At the same time, Eric does lay siege upon the wall. Going for the depot. Overlord providing that high ground vision. And he wants that depot. He's going to get it. It's going to be close. The boys are being pulled. The depot will barely be saved. But again, that is how many workers that was stuck in the CC, more workers being pulled away as well, so much lost mining time, and this is all for 1 Roach and 1 Ravager. Not even 2 Ravagers, just 1 Roach, 1 Ravager. Back at home, Eric taking a 3rd base, droning up, saturating, just chilling, just expanding, just building up towards a longer game. And successfully so, I would say. I would say this has been a better result here for Eric, as Inexorable back at home is getting into his 1-1-1 and will soon counterattack. This I was not expecting. Do you see what I see? It is another fusion core. Let's go. Let us go. Here we go. As we are going to be initially moving out, Cyclone catching out the Overlord. Overlord is going to fall. Eric back at home, taking a 3rd, getting to his lair, droning up. The lair should be for Roach speed, could even be for something further as well. Again, Eric, it's really hard to read him at times, even when it comes to casting, even when it comes to playing, obviously, as well. Here comes the Cyclone drop. So far, Eric, he does have enough to defend. He's got 3 Roaches and 2 Ravagers. Cyclones, they get 1 drone. 1 drone so far. And we do get a second drone. It's going to be 2. It's going to be 3. Oh, 4 even. Not bad. 4 drone kills. The medevac. Oh, medevac will get away. Just barely does get out of the natural. Ay, ay, ay. Eric does hold. And Inexorable gets away. Does manage to escape. Back at home, getting into his own 3rd TC. Into his own BC. Now, what I'm concerned by is that Eric does often undermake queens. And he skips spores as well. Now, thankfully, we have 3 spores on the way, 1 for each mineral line. They're more in position to defend against Liberators. Meanwhile, Cyclones are going for another queen, and that is a brutal loss. The queen, no transfuse. Queen goes down, massive pickoff. How many queens do we have left? 4. Only 4 queens, soon to be 5. I do know that Dominoko did defend with 5 queens in the previous game against Kamikaze, but, I mean, Kamikaze did lose a lot of HP on that BC to the spore. I don't see that happening here. Now, bearing in mind this is not mech, this is BC into Bio, but I'm still concerned about that first battle cruiser, and we'll see where it goes. Eric behind this going Roach Hydra, not into Spire Tech, not into Ling Bane, a more Heart of the Swarm-esque composition. As a Cyclone Joke going back into the natural, or into the main I should say. BC teleporting towards the natural base. And how many queens? 5. 5 queens to defend. Mineral lines under fire. Roach Ravager commits. And a lot of drones are falling. Oh, there is a 1 transfuse. There's going to be another behind this. No, there is not. But the BC taking a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. It's going to be 8 drone kills. Eric, he does hold. He does survive. At the same time, Roach Ravager gets across the map. What is that at him to defend? Stim is not yet done. 10 more seconds. Zorba, he needs 5 more seconds here. Boys are being pulled. Nice kiting by Eric. Does pick up 7 SCVs. Does make up for his otherwise lost workers here across the map to the BC. 11 SCVs, 12, 14. Too many. 14, 15 SCV kills, game-ending damage, and Eric will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Eric does take it. But that was a wild game. Winding it back, a big reason why that build worked is also because of his reputation. This isn't one of those builds that you can do on the ladder and hope that your opponent overreacts the same way. The reason why Inexorable did react the way that he did, throwing down those bunkers and pulling the boys and reacting very strongly to the 2 roaches, is because Eric is known for going all in and is known for being hyper aggressive. That's the thing. It's like Eric, because of that reputation, he can make use of that reputation, make use of the mind games as well. Miyamaika is very similar. Miyamaika, he's the kind of player where if he is scouted, if he is seen, Miyamaika, he will deviate. He will cancel a Spire. He will let a Spire finish and not make any mutas if he gets scouted, for example, as well. Miyamaika and Eric, they're both similar in that sense, where they're very fluid in their style and very difficult to predict. And with that, GG. GG, well played. It's one of those things where Eric and Mio, they're willing to play inefficiently to get ahead, which kind of is a weird way of putting it, but it does make sense. Like, they're willing to kind of invest quite hard in a certain way to try to force your opponent to make it worth their while in the end, make their opponents overreact, over-respond, take advantage of that. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the yellow Terran representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. He's down in the series, and he did force the ace match last time they played. Can he do it again? We'll see. As sporting in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the Brazilian Zerg. For the CranKy Ducklings, he's one of our own. It is Eric. Now, every single game, more often than not, he does go for 15-15 variations. For those who do not know, Eric actually popularized the 15-15 in the meta a couple of years ago. Before Eric, players were not going for 15 hatches in ZVP or even against ZVT either. I think it was after Eric did it in 2020 or 2021, where several saw it and then several started doing it. He did give credit to Eric, and then other people then picked it up and emulated from there. I still remember when Eric was going 15-15 in 2020, and when he was playing in EPT, the casters were making fun of him. They're like, why is he doing this? This doesn't make any sense. And it was, again, like a year later where it was all the craze. So it is really cool that that Eric did kind of like again, he's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very innovative. Very innovative with his play, and does often, again, because he's so exploratory, because he comes up with his own builds, he can, of course, kind of lead the charge when it comes to how the meta does shift over time. It's really cool to see. The other big thing that Eric popularized, that again several also took note of and then did himself at times, was specifically in this matchup Eric going for faster overlord speed. I mean, it's quite complicated, but faster overlord speed into queen drops, into spreading creep from across the map back home in this matchup as well. That is something that after seeing it, Cyril started doing back in 2023? I think it was last year. Or maybe the year before that. 2022 or 2023, one of the two. Regardless, we're going to be settling in. Inexorable is going to be going for the Rax Expand into a bunker across the map, which is very bold. It looks like... you know what this looks like? It looks like Inexorable is trying to do the same to Eric. He's like, look, I'm like bunker rushing you. And it's like, but you're expanding. What's going on? So the bunker is denied. Queen pops out, zones away the Reaper. So far, Eric is holding. Reaper dives into the main, will confirm the Roach Warren. Once again, the Roach Warren is scouted, and the question becomes, because he got scouted, does Eric commit or not? 3 Roaches. Yep, only 3 Roaches, so this time it is going to be a slightly larger commitment. The problem, though, is that this time, Inexorable, I mean, he's that much more aware. You can see already, bunkers are being thrown down. He's taking it seriously. Does he pull the boys again, though? This time the CC won't be delayed. If you remember last time, Eric did go for a much more aggressive start. He went for a much more earlier Roach Warren, which is why he was able to delay the command center. This time he won't be able to do so. So this time this initial Roach push isn't doing as much damage. It's not as successful. Because last game it wasn't just about denying the natural, it was about getting SCV kills and about forcing lost mine time as well. So yeah, Eric, he's not as successful, he backs off. He's droning. Inexorable, he doesn't even lift the CC. He can just saturate from here, he can salvage the bunkers. No big loss for the Terran. So a much better start for Inexorable this time. He's getting to his 1-1-1 once again. Hellion production. This time it looks like there is no add-on swap. We'll see if he does go for Banshees or BCs, or if he does commit into Stim. We have the answer. Stim. Is going to be Stim here. Yeah, there we go. Pioneering is maybe what I was looking for. But Pappy, I'm on fumes, Pappy. Ay. Don't like this. Yeah, pioneering. That's the word I was looking for. Gracias. Interesting, as it is going to be Bio, but it's going to be double Hellion into double Cyclone for Inexorable. Very interesting. With this, he will have a little bit more pushing power, and he can threaten Queens. He can threaten Roaches. As we know, it's going to be a Marine follow-up with Stim and more Maxes. But last, Eric is not fully aware of what's going on. But Eric is a Roach boy. He does very often love to embrace Roach play in the mid-game of ZVT. Speaking of, his first 3 Roaches, or 2 Roaches and 1 Ravager, does meet the army, holds on to the ramp, and zones Inexorable away. Now, Eric is forced to make extra Roaches, and they're not really going to be too effective here. Eric just playing safe. Viking does zone away the Overlord. Link Scout is coming in. Eric trying to get a read on what's going on, and he will get eyes on the Marines. Spots Marines, but he doesn't get into the production. So Eric is still a little bit blind as to what's going on. For all he knows, it could actually still be additional factories, and it could be a BC again. Eric going for the Infestation Pits. This should be for safety Infestors. Again, the Infestor nowadays has since been improved, and now it has a Fungal immediately once it spawns in. And they can support Roach Ravager quite nicely. So we'll see if he does head in that direction. Now just saturating his bases, droning, getting his 3rd. We'll see if he does head into safety Infestors or for a faster Hive. What's it going to be? Hydra gets turned down. We saw this last game, Roach Hydra, and there it is, there are the safety Infestors. So this will keep Eric safe from a bio move out. What Eric is vulnerable to is Mass Marine, because Eric is lacking splash damage. There's no Bailings, of course. It's Roach Ravager. That's where Fungal Growths, it can be quite effective. against this mass bio composition. Inexorable does move out. More roaches are on the way. Eric did spot the move out initially, and yeah, now he's fully aware. Trying to meet up with the army. Hoping to slow it down. There's the first stim! And then Inexorable does stim in. Takes out a roach. Infestors have arrived. Do we get a fungal? Nice free split. A very nice free split here by Inexorable. Trying to avoid that fungal. So far, trying to bait them out as well. Tanks do siege. The Marines, they are heavily stimmed though. Where are the medevacs? Medevacs, they're still on the way. Every stim does hurt. More roaches in production, more Ravagers. There's the hive halfway done. Ooh, Eric has to be so careful with how he engages. Cannot push into those tank lines. How many tanks are there? It's going to be 3 tanks for Inexorable. 2 of them are sieged. Eric doesn't get the Cyclone. Not yet. Building 1 more roaches. Inexorable is looking for a 4th. There is none. Eric's still on 3 bases. Still on 3 bases. Setting up a surround or even a counterattack. Oof. Within tank range though. Bleeds out a roach. Yeah, moving out to catch reinforcements. Nice setup. Comes in from behind. Gets a tank. Gets a tank. Picks off a couple of free Marines. Very nicely done. Forces a reaction response out of Inexorable. Even forcing back more reinforcements. Even getting into, oh my god, even getting some SCVs. Get a very nice pickles this entire time. Eric has been building up more roaches. A Viper is on the way. The hive was done, of course. Almost getting another tank. And Inexorable's army has not moved. Has not progressed. Has a nice free split though. I mean, aesthetically, it looks good. But reinforcements are required. The Vipers have arrived. They have 1 Blinding Cloud each. And ideally, they want to cover the tank line. And with 2 Blinding Clouds, they can cover all 3 tanks. They go for the... Oh, never mind. They go for the Yoinks. They get 1, they get 2. 2 tanks go down. There's 1 tank left. 1 tank... Oh, never mind. 2 tanks remaining. Roach Ravager taking a lot of hits. Ooh, tank volley going up. Lurkers are on the way. I don't know if Lurkers are going to help too much in this defense, but okay. This army is becoming very complex. Nice fungal. Yeah, the fungals do connect. Fire taking a lot of damage, and Eric is pushing in. He's pushing out. Going for the parasitic bombs. Takes out all the tanks. Eric holds. Eric, he shuts down the main army. And behind this, he has gotten away with the Lunkers, papi. The Lunkers are here. Let's go. The Lunkers have arrived. Moving forward. Getting the expansion. Oh! Miles. Oh, God, they graze the medevacs. So don't quite bring them down. Slowly pushing forward. And they do force a lift. Viper's coming in for the yoink. I'm assuming on that final tank. Not quite. Pulling away. Denying the third. Workers getting back within range. A nice threat from Eric. Again, what does he go for? Now there's 2 tanks. Eric, oh, has to be careful. Gets 1. Does catch 1 tank. There's 1 tank remaining. CC still under fire. Gets the final tank. Oof. It does pick it up. And without any tanks, Eric, he can push in. He can be a little bit more carefree here with his army. Getting into the mineral line. Lurkers pushing forward. Within range of the bio. I think Inexorable does focus one of the Lurkers down, but there's the fungal. Yeah, brutal fungal growths. Boys are being pulled, and Eric is snowballing out of control. Last time, Inexorable may have taken the series, but this time Eric he gets his revenge. GG gets called, and Eric will take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played, Eric. He had a much rougher start to this game. If you remember, Eric, he committed into 3 roaches instead of 2, and he did not get any SCV kills. He did not delay the expansion. It was a much stronger start for the Terran player, but it was all about the follow-up. It was about Eric being able to keep up with the bio push, keep up with the initial Hellion Cyclone harass, into the tank push as well. Eric was able to get away with his tech, more importantly. He teched up into Infestors, into Hydras, into Hive, into that Infestation bit, of course, as well. He checked up so much, and really the MVP of that game for Eric was the Roach run-by, the Roach counterattack. Because Eric, he was, again, waiting for so many spellcasters and so much tech to eventually break out. To do so, to buy that time, with that Roach run-by, he was able to distract Inexorable, pick off reinforcements, drag some of the army back home as well. And throughout the entire time, as we pointed out, Inexorable, he was making no progress. He was parked outside of the base, but he wasn't really able to achieve too much there. Wasn't able to gain any ground, gain any momentum, and Eric snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. Eric did take it in the end. Congratulations. Eric will advance on to the grand finals, and my condolences to Inexorable. Again, he is a very strong player. We saw Inexorable defeat Eric last time, 2 weeks ago, but Eric took a very different approach this time. Very different approach. I'm pretty sure last time Eric was going for all-ins. He was committing into Roach aggression and Roach pushes, and he was struggling as a result, so Eric has since learned from that, and it's going to be on Inexorable to adapt. It's going to be on the Terran to adapt here. And we'll see where this takes us as we are getting into the upper semifinals. Master versus Kamikaze. They are currently mid-series, and they were actually playing out their series at the same time as ours. And I don't know what game they're in, so we might be jumping into game 2, maybe game 3, or by the time they finish their current game, we might just have the finals. Yet to be determined. Yet to be determined. So we'll see. We'll see what does occur. As I try to set things up for Master and Kamikaze. For those who are unaware, Master is a Protoss player. He is the strongest Protoss in the brackets and one of, if not the best Protoss player in all of Brazil. He's a very terrifying opponent. We have seen Master win many a Code for Giants Cup in the past, even over Eric as well. He has done that. He has done so in the past, so Master is a force to be reckoned with. Likewise, Kamikaze, he's more of an underdog in that series, is what I will say. We have seen Kamikaze have some deep runs, don't get me wrong, especially relying on his TVT. Kamikaze definitely has some threatening TVT, can threaten Inexorable and Yan and many other Terrans. Here against Master, though, it is going to be an uphill battle. I wish him the best of luck. I do wish him the best of luck here, as it is going to be an uphill battle. Until then, though, looks like we're going to be going on a short break. Looks like we have a break before us just because we're waiting for Master and Kamikaze to wrap up their current game. Here. So until then, we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Hopefully not too long. I know that Kamikaze played mech against Don Minoko earlier. I don't really know if I don't think he's one to really play mech against Protoss, but it's hard to say. I can't quite recall at the moment Kamikaze's style in TVP. So yeah, we're going to be going on a short break, and then when we return, we will have either the conclusion of Master versus Kamikaze or the finals. One or the other. Oh boy. One or the other. Otherwise, take this opportunity to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, get some rest, and get ready for the finale, the remainder of the broadcast. See you guys in a couple of minutes. See you soon here. Oh, never mind. Aye, aye, aye. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of Code for Giants Cup. We just wrapped up with Eric versus Inexorable, and now we are getting ready for our next series for Master versus Kamikaze. We're getting ready here for Master vs. Kamikaze. As you can see here on the brackets, the semifinals have yet to be fully updated, but don't you worry. Eric is waiting in the finals, and we are jumping in mid-series. Game 1 has concluded, and Master is leading 1-0. We just have to reset all these, the races, I should say, and dive into game number 2. The pressure is now on Kamikaze. I mentioned before coming into this, Master is the one to beat. Master is the favorite player to make it to the finals, even maybe to win the entire tournament. We have seen Master bring it to Eric in the past. I do think that they do pose a threat to each other, and I do think they can make for a great finals, but Kamikaze is here to disrupt that. He's here to break the narrative and to bring Master down. But he needs this game to force the ace match. Can he do it? Let's jump in. Let us jump in. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Red Protoss player, the Brazilian Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. Let us go. We are settling into our Protoss versus Terran, and we did miss out on game 1, so we don't really know exactly what did occur in that game. It did last a relatively long time though, so it was able to at least embrace the mid game. And I mentioned before that I wasn't quite able to recall exactly how Kamikaze approached this matchup. I want to say it was aggressive, if I do like kind of reach into the recesses of my mind, but again, I'm still running on fumes, so have been snacking though. Have been snacking to keep my energy levels high. We can do this. We can do this. Let's go. Let's go. As the probe does come in for a scout, and Kamikaze is going double gas. Double gas opener, faster factory. Is going for a more heavy tech composition or tech opener here. At least Kamikaze is. This technically can lead into a one-way soul in, but I don't really see Kamikaze embracing that kind of style. No shot. But maybe. Maybe. As the factory is soon going to be thrown down. From here, Kamikaze can go into a committed Widowmine drop. He can go into earlier Cloak Banshees. He can go into Reacted Cyclone. There's a lot of options here for Kamikaze with how he does want to approach this matchup. We'll see what he does go for as the factory gets thrown down far further back here than the racks. So we are not set up for an add-on swap. Interesting. So no add-on swap. Reactors on the way. But I imagine this is going to be Reacted Marine production into Widowmine potentially. We'll see. As we can see, Kamikaze is scouting for a proxy gateway towards the left-hand side. Making sure that nothing is amiss. Likewise, checking here on the right as well. So no proxy gateways, no pylons. Kamikaze is safe and secure. Meanwhile, you do see Master back at home just going for a gate cyber expand. Everything looking normal from our Protoss player. Again, I don't really expect Master to really spice things up too much. There we go, Twilight Council has been thrown down, and the question becomes, how many gateways? 2 gate blink, 3 gate blink, or 4 gate blink stalker? How aggressive is Master planning on being? See chat, don't lay down, no. I'll do my best. We won't lie down. If we lie down, we're not getting back up. Oh no. As Zeps is going to be chasing down the initial Hellion. So far, the Reaper is keeping up. Reaper is keeping up to help support. Ooh. Shot goes off. Hellion survives. So far, so good. Oh, I spoke too soon. The Hellion. He wants it. He wants it. Does he commit? Oh, he does. Gets a shot of the Hellion. 1 shot away from going down, but it will survive. But it will get an SCV regardless. Will delay the command center. Ooh, that is a hefty delay here. Another worker has to be brought down. So nice damage dealt by Master. Behind this, we have our answer. It is in fact a Reacted Marine production, but we had a Reacted Reaper production initially. Reaper Hellion into Marine Cyclone. Now with the initial Reaper Hellion, Kamikaze can move out, but he's already been spotted, already been scouted. Master is aware, and he's walling up. SimCity's looking solid here. He's got his gateway, he's got his robo as well. Hasn't fully walled off, but there we go. As I say that, there's the gateway, and we have a full wall. Adept gets knocked out of position, but we have Stalkers behind us. We have a shield battery as well. We have an overcharge, and Master is secure. Master is secure. Oh my god, that's a lot of gates! If you recall, I was saying, is it going to be 2-gate blink, 3-gate blink, or 4-gate blink? This was not an option. This is 5-gate blink stalker. Jesus. So this is a 2-base all in. We could even go up to 6 gateways, I guess. But Master is committing very, very hard here, and he's very confident as well in his play. We'll see if he can break Kamikaze. Back at home, what does Kamikaze has? Looks like we have confirmation with the double gas opener. It has led into not just Reactor, Reaper, Hellion, into Cyclone, into Cloak, Banshee. So it's going to be Tank, Cloak, Banshee. There's a lot of power behind this army. There's a lot of pushing power specifically. But as we can see here at Kamikaze, he is not set up. He is not really respecting the opener of his opponent. Checking the vision, Kamikaze, he has not seen anything. Because of that, no bunker. Where are the bunkers? There's no bunker at the natural, there's no bunker in the main, there's one tank on the low ground. The SimCity is not ideal to protect the tanks either. Something like committed blink play can overwhelm Kamikaze 100%. Speaking of, here come the Stalkers warping in 5 at a time. Cloak is still not done, and Master has options. He can either dive into the main or he can dive on the tank. There we go, tank is revealed, he dives in! He 2 shots. Tank goes down. That is still quite a hefty army, and Master has to respect it. He does kite back, waiting for reinforcements. Another tank has arrived. It does siege. Master, does not get the Cyclone. Barely doesn't get it. Cyclone's being repaired, and Master, I do like the idea of rotating over towards the main. There's only one tank in position, so the main base is exposed. Tank on sieges. Tank doesn't siege Stalkers, they dive into the main. The tank goes down! Massive pick off. Tank does fall. Banshee's under fire, they do Cloak. But there's the Observer. One Banshee goes down, there's the Stim! Sorry, there's the Scan. Observer gets sniped. There's one Banshee left. Oh my god. One Banshee remaining, again, it adds a lot of DPS here to the main fight. And Kamikaze is holding his own. Leading out a lot of units though. Prism looking exposed. Master does get away in time. Does manage to get away. Building up more Stalkers. Oh, and he wants the tank. Yeah, he gets it. Goes for a final dive. He gets punished for a moment, and the Marines, they do get within range of the Warp Prism. But the Prism survives, reinforcements have arrived as well, and Master is having his way with these Marines. The Prism does go down though. And these Banshees, again, they add so much DPS to this army. They have been keeping this going, but the Marines were running out. Kamikaze's running out of Marines, running out of Bio. Engi's running out on the Banshees as well, which means they're being chased down by the Stalkers, and they're falling one after the other. It looks like Master, he will hold. He holds, he did throw down a third behind this, doesn't need it. Kamikaze was committed, was all in. I mean, look at this. There's no saturation whatsoever here at the natural base. I spawned the boys. He's completely all in, but like, what's he pulling the boys with? There's just nothing here. There's one tank. One tank, 2 Banshees, and a Dream. The boys are here, but we needed them earlier. We did need them much earlier. Ay. Likewise, Mastery pulls the boys as well. Why not? Pulls the boys, takes down the final tank, snipes the Banshees. GG, well played. Good luck as well. And Master will take the series, will advance on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Master will take the series, will advance on, and Kamikaze will bow out. But a shout out to Kamikaze for making it here to the finals. He was able to bring down Don Minoko earlier. A big win for Kamikaze to bring down the Zerg player, but alas, he does fall at the hands of Master. Again, Master is one of the stronger players in the region, not just in Brazil, but in Latino America. So no shame in going down to Master, as Master is one of the best to offer here. And with that, Master will take it, will advance on. And up next, we have our best of 5. It's going to be a best of 5 ZVP between Master and Eric. Let's go. And they do go back and forth. They do go back and forth in series. They do trade blows. I do want to say that Eric is favored, definitely. But despite that, I would not be surprised if this is not a 3-0. If this goes into Game 4, maybe even Game 5. Could happen. It could happen. Just that Terran doesn't want stim. Yeah, that build is without stim. It is the gas that would have otherwise been spent on stim, for example. The tech lab is actually on the starport and on the factory. So 2 tech labs on the starport and factory. That's for tank and banshee production and cloak as well. So gas is being spent elsewhere with that build. The lack of stim is intentional. Players like Beyond and Maru do the same. They do the same. Meanwhile, it looks like our players, they need some time to conduct their vetoes, so we're going to be going on a short break here. Again, it shouldn't be a long one, but we're going to be going on a short break before we get ready for Los Gran Finales, for that best of 5, the final series of the night of the tournament of the broadcast. See you soon. Take this moment, get some snacks, get some water, join your disruptors, and get your kangaroos ready for Eric. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. God, I'm dying. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of the Code for Giants Cup number 14. It has been a long and intense event so far. We've seen players rise, we have seen them fall, and we have whittled away. Now we're down to 2 players. 1 Zerg and 1 Protoss. And only one will be this week's Code for Giants Cup champion in the grand finals. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings. He is one of our own. What does he stand for? He stands for endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. It is Eric. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Place your bets on who you think will come out on top and be our champion. Here we go, as already we have an aggressive start. Gas already being taken, gas already being prioritized, and Eric, he has a choice to make here. I'm imagining roaches, but the probe scout comes in, and Master does confirm. He confirms the late expansion, he confirms the earlier spawning pool and earlier gases, and we'll see how he responds. Gate, Cybercore, delayed expansion, 2 gate opener even from Master. It's a very safe play from the Protoss player, going for 2 gateways, delaying the Nexus, of course, is going to delay and is going to be secure. Lings are moving out, link speed is on the way, and interesting, Eric, he pulls out. He pulls out a gas, only link speed, no roaches. No Baliness either. Oh boy, only lings. Now, once again, he's trying to force an overreaction. He's moving out with 4 lings, only 4, and droning up behind this. And with those 4 lings, he can contain his opponent. Master has still yet to expand. Just now throwing down his Nexus. Now, there is a bit of a give and take here. There is a bit of a give and take. The downside of what Eric just did is the fact that Master now has 2 Adepts on the way. He's going to have 2 Adepts. He's going to have a Zealot as well. Master will soon move out. And Eric, to defend, he will have link speed. Because of his build, he will have link speed in time, true. But he's going to need extra links. He only has 4 for the time being. And here come those Adepts. They are shading across the map. And 2 Adepts in this kind of game state, in this kind of early game scenario, they can threaten the mineral line. They can, of course, one-shot drones. 2 Adepts can, I should emphasize. We can see Eric, he is making an extra pair of lings. Again, he is aware that he is vulnerable at the moment. And we'll see if he can minimize those losses. We'll see if he can. First Adept shades in, only on its own. Bold move by Master. He gets surrounded, he gets shut down, and the first Adept falls. And Master, he does fumble the ball here. I was expecting the second Adept to join with the first, but alas, he did not. He kept it back at home, and as a result, Eric, he defends. He defends, he moves out. We do have a Stargate follow-up here by Master, working towards his Oracle. But Eric has map control. He's droning, and will soon take the 3rd. Oh boy. Already an intense start. Does hit the natural, gets eyes on the Adepts, is aware of both Adepts here at the natural base. Stalker is on the way. Overlord making his way towards the main as well. Eric is still blind as to what's happening. It could be a Twilight Council, could be a Robo, could be a Stargate. Eric is not fully aware. For the time being, is still just droning. Spreading creep. Void Ray opener. Interesting. This is going to be a Void Ray start for Master. With this, he can hunt down the Overlord, and he can gain map control. Eric, does he get eyes on the Stargate? Looks like he will, just barely. He spots the Stargate, and he sees the Void Ray morphing in. Eric is aware. Eric is aware. It is going to be, oh my god, I passed Twilight Council behind this before the expansion. This screams like Glaive Adepts. Does scream Glaives. Could also be, if it's Blink, this could be the beginning of a 3-way soul in. We'll see which one Master does embrace. But traditionally, a Twilight Council before Nexus is Glaive Adepts. As back at home, gases are being taken, Roach Warren's on the way, Lair as well. Eric is working towards Roach Ravager. And what do you have for us? What do you got? There it is Glaives. Okay. It's going to be Glaive Adepts, as we did mention. No Forge, no upgrades. Just purely Adepts. And if Eric skipped his Roach Warren, he'd be in trouble. Now, thankfully, the Roach Warren is done. Roach production has begun as well, and he's massing up an army. He will have the tools to defend. I'm not saying he will, just he has the tools. It still comes down to the execution, whether or not Master is able to avoid the roaches, get into mineral lines, and pick off those workers. And we'll see if he can. Oracle moves out. Oracle does move out. Hits the third. Rotating over towards the natural. Eric behind this, rushing into a Hydra den. Okay, bold move. He's headed into Hydras. Queens are keeping up. Oracle gets forced back. Oracle is going to be forced back for the time being, only getting the one drone. So far the defense has been good, but here come the Glaive Adepts. How many Adepts in total? It's going to be how many? 9. 9 Adepts for Master. He has 2 more on the way behind this, so it's going to be 11 in total. And Eric, is he ready for this? Oh, he was just droning. 2 Ravagers. He has to wall off. He has to wall off. Can he do so in time? Oh, he barely can. Does wall up. He has 1 Roach, 2 Ravagers. He has a handful of Lings. He will defend with the bare minimum. Oh my god. Master could have committed. He still will. With 2 Adepts. Does commit to the Shade. Oracle gets zoned back. Spores in production. Sorry, Spinecrawl is in production, and Eric holds. Eric, he is barely holding on. Again, Eric, he had the bare minimum to defend, and he pulls it off. As a result, the Adepts, they back off, and Eric gets away with it. He's got upgrades on the way, +1 range, +1 melee. Hydra is done. Hydra upgrades on the way, Infestation, but as well, Eric, he has gone away with so much tech, so much greed. Even chasing down this Adepts. Once again, a bold move. Eric does wall up. Does chase him down. Gets 1, gets 2. Gets 2, gets 3 Adepts. Very nice. Does continue to move out. Let's continue coming in from behind, getting us around on the Adepts. And Eric doesn't commit. He pulls away for now, building up more Hydras. He's taking into Hive. Lurker Den's on the way. Eric, he is joining up. He's backing up. He's backing up. He's macroing up. He's playing more passively here. More passive than I would usually expect from Eric. So he's just backing off. And now he's giving the opportunity to Master to be active instead. His Master, he's building up his own Stalker accounts. Moving out with an Immortal. Temple Archives on the way behind this for Storm, for Archons. Eric, he does break through those rocks. But he shouldn't be pushing up this ramp. Again, Eric, he's still taking. Pokes in, forces out some force fields. Hive is just now finishing. Lurker Den as well. And again, Eric, he's just poking in. I don't believe he has any intentions of committing here. Zealot run by across the map, going for the 4th. Eric is keeping up. Does defend. Shuts down the Zealot. Oh, the Prism! Oh my god. Other one Prism! No! Oh, shot goes off, but the Prism goes down. Massive pickup. Now Eric has nothing to worry about when it comes to a backstab. He can focus on the main push, focus on the main fight. Going for a Ling Run at the same time. Buying some time, just keeping Master on the back foot. And Master is forced to respond. Warps in. Lurkers are on the way. Eric, he's getting away with the Lunkers, Pappy. He's getting away with it. Likewise, Eric finding some of these Hydras, finding some of these High Templar. Gets 1, gets 2, 2 High Templar go down. At the same time, and Master does knock down the gold. Takes down the base, but will lose High Templar. Still a better trade for Eric. Bearing in mind they can always main out over towards his fresh 4th. Didn't want the gold though. Roach is getting to the mineral line. Oh, Eric overextending. Leading off a lot of Lings. But the lurkers have arrived. Do we have detection? Do we have an observer? There is the Oracle. The last Eric, he does rotate over towards the left-hand side. Pushing up the ramp, lurkers getting in position. Oh my god, the choke point is brutal. And Mastery cannot push in. He gets punished. So many stalkers go down. Nice, storm's coming in, but that was the only storm. And lurkers are gaining ground, and Master pushing into lurkers is never a pretty sight. GG gets called, and Eric will overwhelm. We'll take game number 1. Whew. GG. Eric does take the first game, a very intense game as well. I do feel like Eric was playing on a knife's edge. He was playing in a very risky fashion, but did get away with it in the end, and does take a lead. Does take a lead in this best of 5. But again, as I mentioned, it's a best of 5. Plenty more games, plenty more matches to come, and plenty of opportunities here for Master to bounce back. Again, it all did begin with the initial aggression from Eric, with the initial 4 Ling move-outs, which led into a more delayed expansion, and yeah, it was just a wild kind of game state. It was very chaotic. And we'll see if Master can bounce back. We shall see. As game 2 is going to be on Crimson Court. I'm not privy to the vetoes. I'm not fully aware of what was gotten rid of and the ordering of the maps. We're just experiencing it all together. So game 2 is going to be on Crimson. Here we go. Again, the pressure is going to be on the Protoss player. Still a longer series, so there is a little bit more room for error here, but you don't want to be down 2-0. Especially this player here, as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. It is Eric. Here we go. Here we go. So we are going to be settling in. Oh, was that a cancel of the hatchery? Okay, no, never mind. It was just the gas geyser. I was, I heard the cancellation while I was looking at the hatchery. I was very confused. But it's just gonna be the 15-15. So far, so good. Master popping in, and we'll confirm the opener. Won't be able to force the unnatural, and we have a much more standard game state from here. Much more standard openers, as opposed to what we saw in game 1, which was chaos. When it comes to Crimson Court, this is a much more defendable map. You can more freely take a third base, especially the linear third. Can be quite difficult for the opposing player to really apply pressure, and we could end up in a longer game state. On the flip side of things, we have seen a lot of all-ins attempted on Crimson Court, whether it's German taxis or Nidus-based all-ins as well. Eric is more than willing to embrace one of those, so my eyes are going to be on Eric for the most part when it comes to how he can break the Protoss before they can stabilize and fortify themselves. And turtle up. Even though we saw Master go for early Glaive Adept's last game, I don't expect to see that this time. I don't think there's much reason to. Plenty more lunkers, Pappy. True, true. As Eric is getting his third. Going for the center expansion. It's actually been a while since I've seen this center base taken, but winding it back to a couple months ago, this center base is a launch pad for creep, so you can commit into a roach base all in from here. Likewise, the high yield gas geyser also does facilitate for roaches as well. So this base is a tell that Eric wants to be more of the aggressor, and we'll see how Master does respond. But now Stargate is going to be a Stargate opener. Into Oracle. And my eyes on Eric to see when and where he does throw down that Roach Warren. When does he go for it? Where's he headed? As you can see, Mastery is mining through those gold minerals. As we did mention, this linear third base is very defendable. Very defendable, very difficult to really get on top of without knocking down these rocks. And again, that does give the Protoss player a lot of time to recover and to respond. High yield gas geysers on the way. And we're still waiting for the tech. As the Oracle does arrive, gets one drone. Gets one worker so far. Oh. Gets two. Gets two drones. Pulls back from there. Oh, getting another drone. That's been 3 workers in total, not bad. 3 drones, high yield gas geysers now being saturated. There's that Roach Warren. Roach Warren's on the way, and my eyes are going to be on the drone count here of Eric. Does he keep droning? Does he keep saturating? When and where does he stop? Oh. The Oracles, they rotate in between the bases. Oh, going for the drones. Oh my god. They get 2. Whew. That could have been so much worse. The 2 drones do go down. Master backs up. Eric, he does maintain himself. You can see Ling's moving out, but again, the third base is very safe and sound. Eric can start working on the rocks at least. Or on the wall. Oh my god. As the wall's not fully solid, alas. Master does defend. Stays trapped towards the mineral line. Eric, he does pull away in time. Does respond. So far, so good. And Eric, he has cut workers at 50. That's what I was waiting for. 50 drones on now 49. And Eric, he is amassing roaches. He's going for the all-in. Creep is spreading. Queen soon going to be moving out as well. And here it is. Here it comes. 48 drone. Ling, Roach, Ravager, Queen all in. It's all or nothing. The Queens, they're walking. They're waddling. And Master, what does he have? He has 2 shield batteries on the way. He does respond. He does scout. Oh, even more shield batteries and cannons here at the third. But I feel like Eric, he can ignore the third base. He can just go for the natural, where there is less to defend. Wow, does graze the army. Eric pushing forward. Going for the Cybercore. Will not get down. Oh. Cybercore falls. Not bad. There's the overcharge. Yeah, and so far, I mean, the overcharge was, it feels like a little bit premature. We have yet to fully engage. Overcharge about to run out. And then Eric can commit. Lings are knocking down the rocks. As they do so, though, there's plenty of site defense here in position at the third. Gateways are being depowered. More roaches on the way. Oh, the vials they connect with the Zealous, not bad. They do connect. Oh, we're still lacking creep. There we go, the creep is slowly spreading. Nice transfuse here on the Ravagers. Not quite. They're going for the rocks. But the longer this goes on, the better it is for Master. He's buying more time, building on more warpins. Eric, he's a black book. No, 7 Overlords. 7 Overlords on the way. Now is not the time. Lings, they bust in. Massive stasis traps. They delay the aggression. Eric slowly pushing forward. Up. Miles going up. But Eric, he just has not done enough here. It's taken too long. And Eric, now he's getting a lair. It's such a late lair. Not like this. Lings are filing in. A couple of Stalkers go down, but Master's holding. Master, he is holding. He is shutting this down. Eric, he rotates over towards the left-hand side. Does actually outposition the Stalkers, but they can just blink in. They just blink on top of the Lings. Shield battery still coming into play. Nice blinks here. They avoid the piles. And Ravagers are falling left and right. Master, he doesn't just hold. He's shutting down the Ravagers. Then he can counterattack. Eric's still trying to force the issue, but it's not working. Still morphing in more Ravagers. Still trying to break through. Another Queen goes down. Now, Eric, he is taking extra gases. There is a world where if he can contain his opponent, if he can somehow drone up behind this, maybe he can take up. But Master is on 70 probes. Oh my god. He's getting a fourth. He's getting a fourth base again. Just a very secure fourth base location as well. Like, Eric, he can't touch it. He cannot touch the fourth. Couldn't touch the third. Traps are being forced back. He's going to be trading with the army. Does manage to pick up a couple of Stalkers. Oh god, some of the piles do connect. You can see Eric is taking into an infestation pit. That should be for infestors. But Mastery smells blood in the water. He dives on the army, takes down the Ravagers, takes down the Roaches. And Mastery can keep going. Can just keep pushing. Just avoid the piles. As Master is now building up towards immortal production. His fourth base is getting fully saturated. It has been looking rough here. I mean, Eric, he still has one final fight left in him. He does catch the immortal at least. But he shouldn't be able to get on top of these Stalkers. Like, it shouldn't happen. Master playing it safe, pulls back, pulls away. I mean, Eric, he is punishing, true. He's actually trading better than we would expect. He's getting into lurkers. Is there... Okay, hold on. Is there a world... I mean, Eric, he's on 50 drones. Like, he barely has an economy. He's barely sustaining himself. But is there a world where he gets into lurkers? 7 lurkers are on the way. If Master takes a bad fight, if he blinks into the lurkers as well, there's a chance. It's not going to be easy, not at all, but there is a chance here that somehow Eric could take this fight. I'm just shocked that he got into lurker tech. I wasn't really expecting that. But there's detection is a problem. There is an observer. You can see Eric, he wants the army to blink on in. Oh my, speaking of, Jesus. One lurker goes down. It's a rough moment for a Master. Eric going for the observer. Does snipe it. Okay. Observer goes down. Master has not teched into splash damage. There's no storm. There's no disruptors. No colossus. Master's going purely blink stalker. Purely gateway army. Eric is poking in. Like, Eric, he is so all in. He's so committed. Stalkers, they move out. These Stalkers are trapped, by the way. Oh my god! Spine shot's going off. Stalkers get caught. And Eric, he takes a massive fight. He shuts down so many of these Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. And Eric takes the supply lead. At the same time, though, ooh, Zealot run by here across the map. The prison does sneak in. And Eric, he took a good fight, but he's losing workers. Workers he cannot afford to lose. He doesn't really have an economy to work with. And Master keeps on pushing towards the fourth. Master, he may have blundered the fight earlier, but he still has momentum. Ooh, brutal revelation. Lurkers are exposed. Massive spine shots, though. Can we get another volley? Not quite. There's one lurker left. So many of them went down. Eric is going to try and chase us down. He does get the Archons at least. He keeps going. And he's all in. I mean, he was already all in this entire time. And the problem is that Master, the longer this goes on, he can just reinforce. Eric gets another Immortal. Jesus, how? Gets another Immortal. Oh, Zealots are coming from behind. Whilst they do connect, they take down one of the Oracles. But there's just too much Zealots. Too many Zealots, too much of a gateway army. And Master, he will still take this. It became a little bit close and scary towards the end there, but GG gets called and Master ties up the series 1-1. We are going to game 3. GG. Aye. That was wild. GG, well played. The series gets tied up and we have it back and forth. Let us go. Here we go. We're getting into our next game, getting into game 4. Oh. And game 4 is going to be on, I believe, Oceanborn. There we go. It is going to be on Oceanborn. And we'll see who takes the lead. Who takes the lead in the series? Is it going to be Eric? Is it going to be Master? Oh boy, who will gain momentum? As, again, the all-in itself from Eric wasn't doing quite well, as you mentioned. Like, he was just having a really hard time breaking into the natural, breaking into the third. It was in the aftermath where we saw Master take some questionable fights. And we'll see if Eric can try to cause that scenario once again, as we're loading into a very different map, a much smaller map, Oceanborn. The third base and the fourth are a lot more exposed. They're nowhere near as secure as they are on Crimson Court. As we saw, Eric, he could not touch the third, the fourth, the fifth, or even the sixth base. Could not touch the expansions on Crimson Court, but now we're loading into Oceanborn. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing... Oh, Team Hellfire. Oh, God, I freaked out for a moment. I was like, is that me? It's one of our players, unfortunately. We might have to remake here. Hopefully everything is okay. And if there are some internet issues, hopefully they're resolved and we're able to finish the series. As we're losing Master for a moment here. For a moment. Oh boy. But again, this does happen from time to time. The connection from some of the Latin American regions is not the most stable, so we had players lag out before. But we are more than happy to resume from replay or just remake the game, 100%. Right? Like we're 6 seconds in. we're more than happy to remake. It's all good. It is all good. Yes, he does lag out. And thankfully, Cosmos apparently does have contact information with Master, so we can call him up and see what's going on. It could be a connection issue, it could be an electricity issue that has happened before, where power has gone down, like in an apartment complex, and that has caused delays before. So, yeah, hopefully everything is okay. It looks like he's online, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. It should be okay. Should be okay. Just catching up with the chat. This looks sus. It was very sus. Very sus. Aye. I do apologize for some of the downtime that we've had today, though, and it looks like we might, yeah, it looks like, oh, Master has disconnected, so we're going to be going on a short break. Cosmos is attempting to contact Master, and hopefully we can get him back, and hopefully we can continue the series. Again, we're still neck and neck, 1-1, and it would be a shame if there was something like a walkover in the finals because of something outside of our control, like the internet or like the electricity. That would be a shame, and I'm sure everything will be okay. I'm sure it will all be okay, and we can continue. But now, though, we are going to be calming things down, and we'll be going on that short break. Okay, we'll keep you guys updated. We'll keep you updated, and best of luck to Master's internet. Cross your Ethernet cables, cross them. We have confirmation his light went out. I should say his electricity went down. So we'll keep you guys posted. See you soon. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I do apologize for the downtime here. I do apologize for the delay. I did give a brief update in the chat earlier that the electricity came back. There's more to it. So the electricity of Master did return, but his internet did not. His internet did not. We did wait for quite some time and hoping that maybe the issue resolves itself. It did not. It did not resolve itself, and unfortunately, Master cannot compete. Now, what I will say, he does not forfeit. He does not forfeit. Eric, Cosmos, everyone, we have all agreed, and we've all come to a consensus that this is going to be a regame, or in a sense. I should say, we're tied up 1-1. We're tied up 1-1. The vetoes are kept, and this series will continue tomorrow. The series will continue tomorrow before Tenacious Turtle Tussle. So before the big open event that we have tomorrow, we're going to be having a bit of a preamble, bit of a pre-show with the finale of Code for Giants Cup. So that is the plan. That is the current plan. We're going to be finishing this tournament tomorrow, and then that'll lead into the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. That is the plan. Oh boy, that means we have even more casting tomorrow. Even more to cast, Pappy. Even more to cast. Aye. So that is the plan. That is going to be the plan here. Again, it's not ideal, but again, it's something out of our control, right? It's something that we've had to do ourselves in the past with players not being able to compete in the finals, where we can reschedule. Sometimes we just have players compete elsewhere, and then they submit replays, and we do just come to a compromise. And as a result, I will cancel those payouts for the time being. We'll cancel the payouts, and we can continue them tomorrow instead. That is the plan. That is the plan. So I don't apologize that the tournament will not end here and now, but it's all good. We'll end it tomorrow instead. End it tomorrow. And when it comes to the rest of today's broadcast, or the rest of today's events, this was our only cast today. Our only one, which means we can get some rest, we can get some sleep. Tomorrow is going to be Tenacious Turtle Tussle. Tomorrow is also going to be the Pond cast as well. So we have 2 events tomorrow. We have 2 events alongside the finale of Code for Giants Cup. So I guess 2.5 or kind of 3 events in a way. So we have plenty of content to come and to cover tomorrow. But today we are wrapping up. We are done. We are going to be done for the time being. Usually, if I had slept, I would totally stream right now. Now would be the time to stream. Now would be the time to ladder. I don't know if I can right now, though. I don't know. I don't know if I have the energy for it. I mean, technically I could, but I would totally not win games. It would be a wall of red, and I've already been experiencing a wall of red. When was my last ladder session? 5 days ago. It was brutal. It was like, So I might have a nap and have some sleep, get some food, and I might stream later tonight. We do have plans to play Final Fantasy, to stream Final Fantasy instead. But if I'm awake a little bit earlier, I might have a cheeky ladder session beforehand. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. We'll see what happens. But I do apologize. I know that I haven't been able to ladder too frequently this week. We've just been really busy casting. I'll try and pick up the pace when it comes to laddering later on in the week, maybe Friday, Saturday. I mean, I did mention that we have to do a lot of recording though. We'll figure it out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. I do apologize for not ending the tournament here today, but we will end it tomorrow instead. You can follow us on all the social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. And again, our next cast is going to be in less than 24 hours tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be, the conclusion of Code for Giants Cup and Tenacious Turtle Tussle. When it comes to my personal stream, light_VIP, I do stream whenever I can, whenever I have time. It's just I don't often have time to stream. We're often casting, or I'm working behind the scenes on editing VODs and scheduling and doing other things. Speaking of, I'm probably going to record some VODs now. We'll see. We'll see, Pat. We'll see. But I'll try and piece some things together and get things going. So yeah, it's gonna be the plan. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a lovely day, have a lovely evening, and take care, everyone. Take care. Do appreciate it. Meanwhile, do we have another player streaming? Do we have someone that we can raid? Do we have someone that we can send everyone over to? Who is live at the moment? Who is live? I see Chicken Man is. I think Chicken Man is a part of like a poker event that's going on, like a Battle Star Poker or something. Anyone else? Otherwise, we can give it to Chicken Man. Oh, apparently Zombie Grub is live. Going over drunk history with Mapu. Okay. Yo, Miguelito is live as well. Oh my god, there's actually a decent chunk of people that are streaming at the moment. Ooh, what do we go for? You know what? I feel like we'll give some love to ZG, to Zombie Grub. Going over drunk history. I'm sure a lot of good fun. Something a little bit more chill. Something a little bit more lax. Do check it out. Again, Zombie Grub just recently did conclude her Kickstarter for organizing and hosting interviews going over the history of StarCraft, and I know this was one of the stretch goals, and she's also going to be organizing a trip to Europe and Home Story Cup to get more interviews done as well. So a lot of really good content on the horizon from the side of Zombie Grub for StarCraft, so do support it. Do support it. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. See you tomorrow, Bobby. See you tomorrow. Ciao, Bobby. Ciao. See you tomorrow.